From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rob Cairns. I'm the founder, CEO, and chief digital strategist at Stunning Digital Marketing. In today's podcast, I have my monthly co-host, Bridget, Willard, and we're going to talk all about marketing. And today, we're going to talk about marketing preparation for the holidays. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. The SDM Show is brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, the digital marketing concierge that helps you put all your marketing pieces together. We are your marketing experts. We are also your WordPress security experts and know how to lock down a website and protect yourself from bad actors. So contact us at Stunning Digital Marketing today. Hey, everybody, Rob Cairns here. And today I've got my good friend, Miss Bridget Willard, with me. Hey, Bridget, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing as good as one can.
Yeah, coming to us from the fate of the last Formula One race. There you go. And
Yeah, yeah.
it was a
Astros aren't in the World Series. People are upset.
I'm not upset because, we at the time of this record, we have to solve our little Toronto problem, and then we can talk about that. But that's another story for another day.
Well, it's like in Corpus Christi, Texas, we're happy about the Cowboys and we're sad about the Astros. So
yeah, it's like, what else is new? So true. Today I thought we'd talk about a subject dear to your heart and certainly dear to mine, and that's preparation for the holiday season for marketing. At the time of this record, we're at the end of October. It's the 20th. This will probably come out on the 21st because I think it needs to get out there. And I'm on the verge of saying, and you might disagree with me, it's almost too late if you haven't done your planning. Where do you sit on that?
okay. Yes, and so back in my old church days, back in my old church days when I was doing children's ministry and we had the holidays descend upon you like an avalanche in church, especially if you're involved in the leadership. So we had the pageants, we had the women's breakfast, we had all these special singing things, and I was involved in all of them. Okay. So if you didn't plan your things and get those dates and get the venues in July, it's not happening. Because all of a sudden it's like October, New Year's Day. I mean, it's just like that. There's too much going on in everybody's lives, and they're all making appointments. Oh, I can't go to that because my husband's Christmas party is whatever. It's the same way with your marketing. You think it's going to be any different with your business? If you're personally busy with all of the events you have to attend, when are you going to work on your sales for the end of the year? Now, for me, I'm a big believer of doing this in the summer, especially if your business is more seasonal and you have extra time in the summer because people are on vacation. Like, for example, Warren, a lot of his customers are local and they're Europeans. They'll take the whole month of July off and the whole month of August off. Or it's like half the European Union's off in July, the other half's off in August. This is a great time to work on your sales for Cyber Monday. If you're a nonprofit, Giving Tuesday. I don't believe that any e-commerce should use Black Friday. It's for retail. Stop it. But I know they're procrastinators, so I have a tool, 40 days to Giving Tuesday, 40 days to Cyber Monday. It's on my website under free business tools. It's an Excel worksheet. It tells you exactly what to do. And you basically got to start October 23 if you want to just crush through those goals in 40 days.
But what I would also say is part of it is the way the retail landscape works. So I was out and about 3 weeks ago, so first week of October. And what am I looking at in the stores?
Oh, Christmas. It's already Christmas.
And by the way, I always say I don't care much about decorations until after Remembrance Day, which is November the 11th. Then I start to think a little bit. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is companies like Amazon have pushed the Christmas buying season out even more. So they have become, Amazon just had Prime Days at time of this record at the beginning of August, right? Kind of. And now we're already into that Christmas buying season. So I don't think it's any thought of the retailer or the e-commerce side. I think it's a thought of how society works.
Well, okay, there's some issues here. First of all, Black Friday was the day that retailers finally
Yeah.
sold all their income, all their inventory, all their physical inventory.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's called Black Friday because that's when they finally stopped being in debt for the whole year. Red
Yeah.
is bad, black is good. So retailers like Mervyn's and Macy's and all these people opened up
Yep.
the day after Thanksgiving so that everybody could buy their Christmas gifts, get it off the shelf so that they could have a good quarter end. Okay. So
Yeah.
there are competing missions here. Now,
Mhm.
because if you're a publicly traded company, all you care about is your quarterly earnings. So, also, it has to do with the supply, the global supply network. So
Which
we
is a
had some
problem.
ish. It's a big problem right now. We're having some issues with tariffs in China and whatnot. So I also have a retail job. Christmas is already here, but I'm off this week. So by the time I go back in on Friday, there's going to be tables of stuff because I've already seen the gifts come. It's all Christmas
Yep.
planning. I mean, how many months does it take to get on a boat from China all the way to the port of Long Beach? Because that's where everything from China comes. Now I'm in Texas. It's got to be shipped on a railway to get to San Antonio, and then it disperses from there. So the thing is, it's like they think way ahead. They're a year ahead. The people who are buying are quarters ahead. So
Mhm.
what you're doing is, if you're a software developer or you have a SaaS, right? You want somebody to buy something. First of all, it's a distracting to be competing for that day, number one, because people
Yeah.
are thinking about TVs and electronics, inventory that's already been purchased, physical things,
Correct.
things to get ahead to make their buying journey longer because paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, okay? Number two, Amazon was always super smart to differentiate their own flash sale from Black Friday and Cyber Monday by creating Prime Days. So they're like, forget about that. I'm going to have my own days. And now everybody else is following suit. Walmart has their days, and every other company's like, I saw an advertisement for Target. They have their deal days.
Yep.
And the
Yep.
thing is that everybody is trying to divorce themselves, if you see this pattern, from just Black Friday because it's too expensive to compete with advertising, attention, the literal advertising fees, the placement of the ads, competing for that keyword if you're paying for those, and all of and attention. Like I'm on my phone doing something, messaging my friend Rob or whatever, and there's some other thing comes up, and I look at it, and now I'm on another website, and I forgot I
Mhm.
was talking to you, and now it's time to go on the show, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that attention span, it's gone. You know,
And
we
and
can,
even the online retailers were playing that game. I was looking at my phone before I got on to do this record, and Shein is already starting to push their sale days coming up very soon. So, and Amazon's already done that. So we know
right.
where that goes. The some products, I won't talk physical products for a minute, don't do well if you haven't already started. And the one that comes to mind is the book industry. Books have a long runway. A couple of years ago, I had an author come to me and wanted me to start promoting their book at the end of November. And I said to them, rightfully so, I think your runway's too short. And their comment was, we're paying you to do it anyway. And I said, okay, but you're not going to be happy. And then sure enough, they blame me at the end of the day for not doing it. Books need pretty well a 6 month runway for Christmas because they're a little different. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't really, I love books in general.
Yeah,
I'm not a big reader.
yeah,
I just love book. I don't learn that much from reading. I have a hard time reading, but because my mind is everywhere, I'm autistic, ADHD, autistic. Okay. So my brain is going, I make myself read, but I love books. I've
yeah.
always loved
Me too.
books. So I love giving books. I feel like it's a great gift. Um, you know, you don't there's a whole Japanese art. Warren will talk about collecting books, and it doesn't mean you have to read them, but they're there for you. They're like your friends. It's
Yeah.
information. It's right. Sometimes I like to reread books, so that I can learn it a different way. Or like when I was reading the Bible, that part was maybe you're going through something and that part is more relevant to you now. Same with self-help books. If I read Rising Strong after my husband died, but like maybe 4 years after he died, I bet if I read it now, it would hit me differently
I'm sure.
because I'm
I'm sure.
going through different things, right? So nonprofit books, nonprofit um, self-help business books, like this is what I do for my business. Those kinds of things hit you differently depending upon where you are in your life and your business.
Yeah.
So they can be a great gift for sure. But as far as like the Christmas books that come out are usually like really fancier. They have gold foil. They look like
Yeah.
presents. So you're not going to really order things on Amazon. I don't, Warren likes to promote our books for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I don't really care. For me, there's something I give to somebody to help them,
Yeah.
uh, and as part of my sales funnel. But you know what I mean? So it's like, but like a new set of Lord of the Rings, that's beautiful. A classic with extra art. Like you see that at Barnes and Noble and you go, that's a great gift. A
Yeah.
coffee table book about Seattle for someone who just went there for the first time. That's a great gift. It's really the intent. But as far as like, oh, the next bestseller, I don't, what do I know?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. I just know that licenses for software, I have some strong opinions on this and sales.
I was gonna go there because I think the biggest mistake the WordPress industry makes is everything goes on sale at Black Friday. And I was reading a post by Katie Keith at Barn Two Plugins
Yeah, she used to be a
a
client.
while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Katie was going on about how she cancels all her licenses every year and buys them all at Black Friday. So if you do that every year, why would anybody buy any licenses any other time of the year? I don't understand.
I get that you're trying to save money, but I wouldn't do, to me, I wouldn't do that. If I'm buying a piece of software, I'm buying, especially WordPress, I'm buying it because I like that person, that human.
Hmm. Hmm.
Otherwise, why would I use some form from some person that I like instead
Yep.
of the big guys? But I know that
Yep.
the one person that has a form plugin is really nice. I always buy from people I like. That's
But
always
most people
important
do.
to me
Most people do.
because, I mean, Amazon doesn't care about my money and neither does Automotive. I don't know them anymore. I met Syed once in 2013. He didn't remember me the next time. Like, we're not friends, right? But people
Yeah.
that you know and you worked with, that means something to you. You know that your money is helping them and their business. That means something to me, right? So I see purchases as lowering your tax liability. So I'm happy to spend money on software. My CPA wants me to spend more money on software. I don't want to
Yeah.
pay taxes. You know,
Yeah.
I want my LLC to be as lean and mean as possible. I don't want it to make money. If it's making money, I'm paying taxes, right? So why do
Yeah.
I care? I'd rather that the money goes to SEO rank math or
Yeah, I
WS
get it.
forms, or you just see what I'm saying? A lot of people, I know this might sound really pedantic, but it kind of frustrates me because it seems so obvious to me, Rob. And because I was an office manager for so long and I learned about all this stuff early in my life,
Mhm.
that, you know, I'm the thing is that when I was at Give, they were always talking about this, and I said no, no, no sales. Why? Because you started, especially the year I joined them, they started their plugin in April. They brought
Mhm.
me on in June. That first year, you want all those people, all those brand new people renewing every November, every Black Friday, you want
Yeah.
them renewing. If you really do want that, then you need to reverse engineer your plugin prices so that the real price is Black Friday.
Mhm.
And then you're training all of your customers that that's the price that's acceptable. You don't
Yep.
want license renewals happening that. What I would do instead is offer a free gift of some kind.
Yeah. Yep.
But I also wouldn't want the extra support burden right before
Yeah.
Christmas.
There is a support cost. There's no question. And
I would
the
want them
big,
coming every month as regularly as possible so that any increase would be slowly
yeah.
absorbed by the support team.
Yep. Yep.
I learned that from
The,
Matt Cromwell.
and the biggest joke actually in the telecoms industry, because I'll sell cell phones, is what's the biggest support day? The day after Cyber Monday and the day after Christmas, because when
Yeah,
does everybody get their new toys?
right.
And
You know,
nobody anticipates the lineups or the frustration. And I mean, it's bad enough now. I sat on hold with Rogers for 40 minutes this morning for one problem. And, you know, I hate to see what to call the hold times are like then. So I agree with you on that one. Um, One thing we don't think about going into sales is your websites, especially if you have an e-commerce site. You better have some simple things done. One, make sure your security's up to date. Two, make sure your software's up to date for security. Now, we all know that WordPress 6.9 is scheduled for the first week of December again.
it's always doing this during the holidays.
And if it were me, I would hold that update back till the week between Christmas and New Year's. All, unless it's major critical, I would hold it back because
No, do it in
doing a
January
major,
20th. It doesn't even
yeah,
matter.
well, it does from a security perspective, but doing a major update during retail season, it's not a good idea. So I
No,
wouldn't
it's
be
a
doing it.
terrible idea because the fourth quarter is when people make their money.
Yep. And then the other thing on the website I would be
It's
looking
so
at,
obvious.
yes, the other thing on the website I would be looking at strongly is my website and my hosting scalable enough, especially for running an e-commerce store? Can I flip a switch that says, give me more resources and I'll pay for them and they just kick in? There are hosts that do that. And that's a big consideration, especially if you get lucky and hit a Christmas milestone, right? We
I
got to
mean,
start thinking of,
I will say that Rocket, who's my client, they're not paying me to say this. They do have Shop Shield and they can do
yep,
this. They can intelligently throttle and they can also scale you up like this. That's the difference between having $3 a month hosting and paying more, right?
no,
So, there are a lot of managed hosts that could do this. Matt Mullenweg was just tweeting today that WordPress.com is not relying on just one thing. So they're not
not
down
relying
because of
on AWS.
AWS. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep,
yeah, of
yep,
course. Like there's that redundancy. Some of that you can control and some of it you can't. My task list says like pick three things to put on sale. schedule out your posts, make sure you've named all of your images, something that makes sense. Make sure you have, you know, um, anchor text,
Yeah.
like these basic SEO things. But yes, if you're going to compete for traffic on either Giving Tuesday, which I'll never forget when I was working with Give WP, and charity was, I mean, there was a charitable, I think is what it's called. They were our competitor and they were right downtown in San Diego with us. They went down. They went down on, oh, Classy. It was Classy, and Classy just got bought. It was Classy, and they went down on Giving Tuesday. So everybody who used their platform,
Mm.
they got bought by GoFundMe. Everybody who used their platform is down.
Yeah.
Everybody. So like that's the whole thing of having WordPress is not having one point of failure. You choose your, CDN, your
Yeah.
host, your all of this stuff,
Yeah.
and you do that, but like this sale is going to come with problems. And are you job costing that? Are you weighing those costs of extra support for the extra sales? Are they going to be the right people? Because the people who buy on Black Friday and Cyber Monday are the cheapos, and they are usually the hardest, toughest support people
No
because
question.
they're already unhappy, and then they got something cheap and it didn't do what they wanted it to because they don't even know what they want in the first place.
No question. And then the returns go up and yada yada yada. It's
Yeah,
just
what WordPress company do you know, Rob, that has the budget to offset those potential downfalls?
none.
Independent plugin companies. Stop doing it. Just
Yeah.
save yourself some headaches, enjoy your family, build some websites on the side, and then start marketing your plugin again January 20th.
Yeah. It's true. And the other thing is, if it were me, is, we talk about us marketing, you got to be aware of your turnaround times too. So I'll give you an example. I have
Yes.
a good friend and a client who's got runs a jewelry store. They do custom jewelry. So believe it or not, by the end of November, first couple of days in December, their Christmas is over. And everybody says why? And it's custom work has a lead time. You have to have time to get it done. I mean, there's some exceptions, but the bulk of it's already in and gone. And that's because of their lead time. So what I'm saying is, you as a provider, I don't care if it's jewelry, if it's clothes, if it's a record store, you got to be able to provide the goods you're promising in time for Christmas. And
Yeah,
there's only one company I know that does deliveries on Christmas Day. You know who they are?
Amazon,
Of course.
Walmart. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Amazon.
anyway,
Amazon.
but
Yeah.
still, like that stuff is not on a boat right now, Rob. That's in people's warehouses.
Hmm.
It was ordered probably in January.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I think a lot of times, um, our main audience of, or my main audience of SaaS companies, they want to jump on these things that big box stores, that retail stores do, not understanding that they're a different beast. The whole great part about SaaS is that it's just money in your bank. Like you made the one thing, you made this CD-ROM software. You don't have to print out CD-ROMs and mail it to them like it's AOL 5.0. It's on the cloud. You have to pay for your
Yeah.
infrastructure, your support, your marketing efforts, those kinds of things. But you don't have to print out labels and ship out CDs anymore.
No, not
So
anymore.
your actual costs are low in compared to retail, who has to pay
Yeah.
for a building and a lease and, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not the same. And so I'd also, you know, the other thing is you never know what somebody's goals are. So when you're looking at their efforts and you're saying, "Oh, well, this company is doing X, Y, and Z, it must work." But you don't know that. I had this interview with Rand Fishkin. I actually got him on the show. It was really cool. And talked to him about Facebook's just too big to quit, you know? And it is, but people that are throwing money at advertising, a lot of times their investors just want to see growth.
Yeah, they do.
It's growth at any cost, right?
Yep.
And they
Yep.
don't care about how much money they're spending because they're going to get their money differently. It's going to be taxed differently, and they're fine reducing their tax liability. This money is not being spent in order for a 1 to 5 developer team to have a lifestyle. This is
Yeah.
extra money that they're spending, the venture capitalists are spending, that they just want a return on. They want it in a certain way so that they defer their tax costs. This is a
Yeah.
tax strategy, not
True.
a marketing strategy. And
True.
that's what so many people do not understand. Don't follow what Amazon's doing or whatever acquired company is doing on the internet. You think they're working. Everybody's talking about AI, doing this, that, and the other thing. All it's doing is making the stock market green. Okay? And
Yeah.
everybody's happy for that. That has a purpose. But that doesn't mean that that is the right play for you. You have to
Hmm.
consider everything. And you brought up really good points, Rob, of course, about your lifestyle. How busy do you want
Yeah.
to be between Thanksgiving and Christmas? Or do you want to go snowboarding with your kid and go on
Yeah.
vacation to Puerto Rico? Like, do you want to be offline or do you want to be
Yeah.
dealing with annoying
Yeah.
customers who don't know how to install a plugin on their WordPress website?
Yeah. You really got to look at that. I know when I look at my calendar for November and December, it's like, and we're away in November, so it's like, what it looks like. As my friends describe it, it's like a Crayola coloring book. Need to say more. So
Well, for me, back when I was in San Antonio, and I was single, I was intentionally single. I was intentionally single. I really wanted to make my December like low maintenance. I
yeah.
didn't want to work at all in December so that I could just
Mm.
do all these fun Christmas things, you know?
Yeah, I
But
wish.
yeah, well, one day, like you got to have goals, right? Now I work in
I have
retail.
goals, but my problem is I have clients who want to spend end of year money before December
Right. Okay,
31st.
that's another goal. See, that's another goal. There's sometimes, and with governments, they're spending it so they can have that budget again. A lot of corporations do that same thing.
Yep.
But then there's a lot of people that won't make any decisions between Thanksgiving, actually October. A lot of big corporations, like my old big clients, that they're not making any changes after October. That's it. That's there. A lot of them have their fourth quarter, just like TJ Maxx, where they start in February. So they have
Yep.
November, December, January. That's their
Yep.
last quarter. They're not changing anything, so don't even bother. So for me, it would have worked. But whatever.
No, no, it's
AI.
true. I think a lot of the other problem is I think a lot of small business owners make the mistake of doing what I call the dartboard blindfolded trick or to throw it at the wall and make it stick. They have no idea what they're doing. Oh, let's throw out a few emails people will buy. Let's throw out a few crappy ads. And then you say to them, what worked? Oh, I don't know. They're not looking at numbers. They're not looking at analytics. They're not asking people that come in this store where they heard about them. I
That's
don't
wild to
get it.
me. That's
Yeah.
so wild to me because back in my construction days, I worked at Evans Roofing, and the owner wasn't really a roofer. He had an MBA. So this is 2000, right? The year
Mhm.
2000, we're writing in, when somebody called, we wrote in a 5-part NCR form on
Yep.
paper, and everybody got a certain paper. How did you hear about? He did full yellow book ads and everything like that. They wanted to know. And so when I went to the next contractor, and my boss would get a sales call, I'd say, "Oh, great, where did they come from?" I didn't ask. I'm like, then don't tell me if Twitter works or not. Then he would say, I said, where do they come from? The internet. That's not an acceptable answer. You need to ask. Like, oh, you saw our YouTube video on epoxy injection? That's great. Now I can attribute that
Yep.
video
Yep.
and $97,000 worth of work from one client, right? But
Yep.
if you don't ask, you don't know. If you don't keep records, you can't justify it. Marketing seems to always be um, like, well, we need to spend some money, or like I say, make up sex in a bad marriage. Like, well, this is our last ditch effort. I have 6 months of money to spend. If it doesn't work, then we're out of business. Marketing should be there from the very beginning. And marketing and sales need to get over themselves and be one. Like, if they
No
can't
question.
talk to each other, then it's not going to work.
They never do. They never
What,
do. And
one of my,
by the way, the third department you need to throw in that mix is IT. I'm
oh,
sorry.
yeah.
IT never talks with marketing and sales. So, you need them they all need to be part of a cohesive solution instead of
Yes.
separate entities. No question.
Yeah, because sales will promise stuff that they don't even know what that means. Well,
Yeah,
just
of
add a
course.
button. Okay. What do you want the button to do? Well,
I
just
don't know.
schedule a meeting. Okay. Do
For
you want
whom?
to sync it with Google Calendar? I don't use Google Calendar. I'm an iPhone person. Okay. So how are we going to schedule this meeting? Oh, you scheduled a meeting. That's not what I'm not available. Like, nobody's thinking through the consequences of when somebody
It's
clicks a
about the
button.
process. Yeah.
Yes, and that's the whole thing. And with people like ruining their intellect, with their corroding their own intellectual curiosity with AI by using stupid chat GPT to think for you, you're not even thinking through those processes. Like, I
Yeah.
can't even imagine doing it now. Like, I'm doing this pro bono thing. I'm building a website for a contractor who served me a Facebook ad. I just thought, let's see what happens. I got the space on my web hosting plan, right? And I'm like, oh, shoot. Yeah, I need that button. Oh, I need this email. Oh, I can't do it yet because they're going to pay me to do Google Workspace because it has to be a domain email. It can't be at yahoo.com.
Yeah.
You can't do
Yeah.
SMTP to go with your Gmail address, weirdos. Like, you have to have a real domain name. Like,
I know.
what year is this? And we're still having this conversation. Now you're worried about Black Friday?
Yeah.
I don't think
It's
so.
true. As I said to a prospective client the other day who sent me an email and said, I can't do stuff, and they're in the middle of a business startup. I said, so why aren't you paying somebody to do it for you? And I'm sure the response is going to come back money, and then my response is going to be, do you have a real business or a hobby? Like, honestly, I say that a lot. Like, decide, because there's some stuff like creating a domain email that for you and I is actually pretty easy. For some people who don't know how to do that, it's more difficult. Like, let's be first, right? So it's all
Well,
based on
yeah.
your
I
luck.
mean, I can't make a WordPress plugin even if I did use Claude. Like,
Yeah.
that's not my skill set. But what I'm saying is, how do you start a business? You just like I did it. I was freelancing. I was doing stuff for people.
Yeah.
I had to go by YouTube can be a guru because BridgetWillard.com was a porn site. That's real life. Okay. I didn't have the domain. The domain came available and then I made my LLC. So I went backwards. A lot of people do it that way. So I have a lot of empathy. I do. And that's when the teacher in me is like, well, let me show you why you need it.
So do
But
I.
then
Yep.
when somebody, but then when you show them, they're like, wow, so do you want the $12 back? And I'm like, no, it's a gift. Like, I bought your domain name. It only cost me $12. I just want to make an email for you so I can make a Namecheap account for you so I can give it back to you, right? Because you should
Yeah.
have this and you
Yeah,
should
of
know
course.
where it is, you know?
Of course.
Instead of dealing with these committees that don't know the password for a Facebook account so that you can, I mean, these are your digital assets. You
Yep.
don't know it's like saying you don't know where your bank is.
I know. It's an
I,
ongoing problem.
yeah, and I really don't know how to get people to care. And I really thought, Gary Vaynerchuk back in the 2009 era used to say, don't try to convert the unconverted. And I really get that now because I keep saying, like, you really need this. And they're like, oh, I don't think I need it. Like I don't know if you saw that big Twitter thread the last couple of days of do you need a website or not?
Oh yeah, I
Lauren
saw it.
and I are up. I'm
I
like,
just shook my. I didn't even get in that because I am at the point of view, and I've told people this. If you come to me and I give you advice and you say I don't need that, I can guarantee you when you come back to me, you know that number I gave you, it's not that number anymore. I
yeah,
mean, people need to think about their digital stuff and what they do and how they do it and their planning, and they need to stop being short-sighted. Do you need a website? Well, frankly, what happens if TikTok goes down in your stores in TikTok or in Instagram? Remember a year and a half ago in November what happened when
yes,
Instagram went down right in the
yes.
Christmas shopping season? So the story there is I had a client lose, nowhere to lie, 25K in one day because his store was not open. How soon did it take him to come to me and say, build me a website now? How soon?
Yeah, see,
There's
that's
a,
the problem is that everybody thinks it's super easy to have a Black Friday sale, Cyber Monday sale too. But you're
yep,
competing with so much traffic. And if your sale is really that good, what's going to happen when you have all those people pressing buy now?
yep.
Can your site
You,
handle it?
you would almost be better off having your sale on another day because then you would stand out instead of getting lost in the shuffle.
That's what Amazon did. Now Adobe had a report. And this is the good nuggets for the people who have listened for this long in the episode. In 2024, during the peak hours of 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. of Cyber Monday,
Yep,
$12.5 million was spent every single minute. In
yep,
2 hours, $12.5 million every 60 seconds.
yep.
That's a
But if you,
lot of transactions.
and if you're a small plug-in company, you're going to get lost in that shuffle every day, every time, everywhere.
Just don't do it, man. Just
I know,
wait it out. Just enjoy your life.
I know.
Invite
Hey,
some
Bridget.
people over, play Dungeons and Dragons. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep, yep,
or try to get your clients to upgrade their sites. That's what I would spend some money on.
yep. Hey, Bridget, thanks for the wisdom as always. Go on over to bridgetwillard.com, find out more about Bridget, and spend some time with her. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye. This podcast has been brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, your digital marketing concierge to help the business owner put all his pieces together, whether it's email marketing, WordPress security, WordPress design and development, PPC, and more. Text Stunning Digital Marketing for all your digital marketing needs today. A very special thank you to Bridget for joining me on this edition of the SDM Show. The SDM Show is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I miss you very much every day. My mother, Ann Cairns, who's still doing really well and is an inspiration. And of course, Tiz Maroney. And Tiz, I know I've said it, but thank you so much for all the inspiration you give me every day.